Hi everyone, we're going to do a blind comparison of Tennessee whiskeys. We're going to compare Uncle Nearest 1856 100 proof with Jack Daniel's Bonded 100 proof bottled in bond. And the significance of this goes way beyond this immediate comparison, because if you've watched my previous videos, you would not have this without the man whose name is on this. I encourage you to watch my pinned video about the story of Uncle Nearest and my previous videos. But that's something that was not even known until 2016, and then all the work that Fawn Weaver, the CEO of Uncle Nearest, uncovered. But again, I cannot stress this enough. The story is fascinating, but all of this and everything that this represents around the world would not exist if it were not for Nearest Green. And that's the story of this bottle. But for this video, we're going to compare these two. And what I really want to get to is the fact of, these are both Tennessee whiskeys. This is a bottled in bond. We've gone through the requirements. Obviously, this has to be bottled at 100 proof. But beyond that, what makes this is partly sourced, may not be from one distillery. There's a bunch of requirements this has to meet. It has to be one distillation season, one distillery, bottled at exactly 100 proof, at least 4 years. This is not a bottled in bond, but they are both 100 proof. What I really want to get out of this is the following. I've noticed from doing the single barrel and now reviewing the 1856, there definitely is a heavy prominence of charcoal mellowing. And just to back up, Uncle Nearest is the man who basically perfected the Lincoln County process, which both of these and other Tennessee whiskeys use. But what I think in my head is, I noticed there is I think even a more so heavy influence of that charcoal mellowing process, where the distillate goes through vats of 6 foot or 10 foot charcoal before being put in the barrel. I really believe that there is more influence in the taste in this than this. But the only way to really tell, I think, is to do a blind. And I thought these two are perfect. They're both 100 proof. They're both Tennessee whiskeys. Aside from the fact of the story of these two, this is, to me, is a great comparison. I'm a big fan of Jack Daniels, and now certainly I've become fascinated with the story of Uncle Nearest. Let's pour these up, blind them, and I really want to kind of see it blind, if I can tell them apart, which is which. And if I'm noticing the fact that in my mind, I think that maple charcoal process is even more impacted on the taste in this than in this. So let's get them poured up and let's go. Okay, so we got these all poured up, mixed up, have no idea which is which. Just a quick comparison. I have reviewed the Jack Daniel's Bonded before. It was a while back, and this one, obviously, I just reviewed the other day. Both 100 proof. Jack Daniel's bottled in bond. Uncle Nearest not bottled in bond. I understand the age on the Uncle Nearest is probably now in the range of about 5 years. I think they're using more of their own distillate as opposed to previously. When they started out, they were sourcing it because they were new, and I believe now it's more of their own. Mash bill, I do not have a definite mash bill on the Uncle Nearest Jack Daniels, as with their other products. 80% corn, 8% rye, 12% malted barley. Size of the bottles, actually, this is your standard 750 milliliter. This Jack Daniel's Bonded, interestingly enough, is 700 milliliters. And the quick fact with this one is, I've been at a duty-free shop and I've seen a Jack Daniel's bottled in bond as opposed to Jack Daniel's Bonded. Essentially, it should be the same thing, but the interesting thing is, in the duty-free shops, it's called bottled in bond, which I think predated this. This is a product that came out after that. It should be the same thing, but I'd be curious to be able to compare them. As a side note, this Jack Daniel's Bonded was the Whiskey of the Year for 2022, voted by Whiskey Advocate. And I've been a big fan of this one. Basically, at this point now, I prefer my favorite Jack Daniel's. Well, I shouldn't say that. Of the bottles I've had, the Jack Daniel's single barrel bonded, and then this one, not bonded, I'm sorry. Jack Daniel's single barrel proof is my favorite, followed by this one of the bottles that I've actually had. As far as the bottles in general, the Jack Daniel's single barrel rye, I had that at Jack Rose in D.C. Just the pour of it, that probably is my favorite. I'm not even a rye guy. But anyway, happy to love this bottle. It's a nice proof. So that's really the story here. I think what I really want to see is, how do these compare? But if I could pick them out, and I really want to focus on the influence of the Lincoln County process in the charcoal mellowing. Let's give this a nose. Well, when you do it blind, it's interesting. I'm getting more aroma out of this glass, but what I am getting is similar type of a maple charcoal. So I think the nose is fairly similar. I'd say this is a little more prominent. Let's go with this with the taste. Cheers. Okay, cheers. Interesting. It's very similar when it's a lot more similar when you do this blind. And just to give you the background here, in my head, but we're doing this blind right next to each other, I felt going into this that the influence of the charcoal mellowing, the charcoal taste, maple taste, is greater in the Uncle Nearest brand than the Jack Daniels. So these are both the same proof. I want to see which one I feel is which. Again, this had the stronger nose. Let's see about the taste. Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay, this is very close. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first say which is which. I'm going to give you my thoughts. I think, just no coincidence, it happens to be in the same order, but I believe this is the Uncle Nearest and this is the Jack Daniels. Let's see. Uncle Nearest, Jack Daniels. Yeah, okay. So, to pick it out, as far as which one, they're a lot more similar when you do this blind, I'll tell you that much. But in this case, I think the influence of the charcoal mapling may be a little more subtle with the Jack Daniels. So I would say this is really close. I mean, for my personal taste, it's basically, it's proven my point, but not to the degree that I thought. It's much closer when you do it blind, but I am seeing a little bit more subtlety for the charcoal maple processing with the Jack Daniels and the Uncle Nearest. If I had to give a nod, I'm going to do this one more time, but this is not easy. I may give a nod to the Jack Daniels Bonded, but I mean, it's really much closer. In my head, I thought of this as much more prominent with the charcoal mellowing. And that's not just necessarily a factor of why I pick one or the other, just general preference. But when I'm doing this side by side, they're much closer. This is a little more subtle with that. It's a little bit more of my taste preference, but this is a very fair comparison. So, I mean, regardless of your taste, you can't go wrong with either one of these. And boy, what a story here! Definitely watch my pin video on that one. It's my first pin video. It gives you the story of Uncle Nearest, how he mentored Jack Daniels. More to come. Cheers. Take care. Thanks for watching.